About a year and a half ago, I started wholesaling real estate. At the time, I was a senior in high school and I wanted to be a real estate agent after I graduated. I didn't really have a good idea of what I was gonna do. It was kind of just a blurry, vague idea in my head of becoming a real estate agent and then an investor. Now I wholesale real estate. So obviously wholesaling real estate worked out in my favor. But if you're in the same position that I was in a year and a half ago, and maybe you don't want to go the college route, but you still don't know what you're going to do after high school, then I've made this video specifically for you. So this is how I started wholesaling real estate in high school as a senior with no money, no license, and just some extra free time in between some of my classes. So you can copy the exact steps that I did, and hopefully it'll work out in your favor like it did to me. Number one, the first thing that I did when I started wholesaling real estate is obviously research. I didn't just dive into wholesaling real estate, right? I watched a bunch of different videos on what wholesaling real estate is, what are the different types of terms like ARV and how do I calculate repairs, things like that. So my first week wholesaling real estate, I didn't really wholesale real estate, but I was putting the idea in my head of what wholesaling real estate actually was, so that when I went and actually wholesaled real estate, I would know what to do. Now here's the caveat. I only really spent 1 or 2 weeks actually learning wholesale real estate. But what I see a lot of new people do, a lot of beginners, is they try to overconsume content that is really just unnecessary. They don't need to learn specific types of things like how to dispo or how to find a buyer when they're just starting real estate, like you haven't even made your first call yet, right? And what they do is they spend months and months and months just watching videos, trying to figure out what wholesaling real estate is, how to wholesale, and they don't actually wholesale themselves. So if you could take one piece of advice from me, is limit the amount of time that you spend actually learning wholesale real estate through videos. The real learning on what to do will come when you actually start to dial. Videos are good, but they can only get you so far unless you actually do the steps yourself. Now, after I learned how to wholesale real estate just by watching some videos, immediately I started dialing. So I would go to Zillow and I'd basically just call realtors and offer them creative financing, which at the time is how I learned wholesaling real estate, but it's not something that I would advise now. I think you should learn how to wholesale real estate using cash, and then you can move to different creative financing strategies. I think that's just a different atmosphere that you don't want to get yourself into when you just start. So just wholesale cash in the beginning, and you could call realtors and you basically just make offers. I mean, those videos taught you how to calculate ARV, repairs, your MAO, things like that. So just go off of those guidelines and you'll be straight. And I made a super simple repair sheet that I use myself to calculate the repairs that are needed for any given property. It's free, it's in the description if you want to take a look at it. If you don't know what repairs are needed to get a property in tip-top shape, then just go to the description, put in your email, it'll get sent straight to your inbox. Just put in the square footage of the house, what type of work needs to be done, and then it'll spit out your repair number and you'll be good. And learning how to wholesale real estate really comes from being on the phones yourself. It doesn't come from watching other people call or other people telling you how to do something. Really, it's your experience that you get by calling people. And I know it might be a little nerve-wracking in the beginning, but I'm telling you, it goes away after like a week. To be honest, for me, in the beginning, I wasn't super scared. I had a door-to-door sales job before that in my junior year. So I kind of already knew how to talk to people and how to dig for motivation and just talk in general. So I wasn't really nervous in the beginning, but I know a bunch of people get super nervous when they're starting out and they don't want to call. But this is a business of calling. You have to call in order to make money. And if people reject you, then you'll never talk to them anyway, right? So here's what you could do. Go to Zillow.com, look for distressed houses, and put in certain different types of distressed keywords in the filters. You could put distressed, as is, investor, things like this, fix and flip, need to sell fast, whatever different keywords you could put in the filters. Then that'll filter all of the nice houses, and then you only get the ugly houses. Remember, that's what we're going for, is only ugly houses. Do not wholesale these nice houses. I see a bunch of people make that mistake when they start. Trust me, only ugly houses. Then when you find an ugly house, just call the agent, talk to them, build some rapport, ask them what type of work needs to be done, what they think it could be worth fixed up. You can use their numbers, or if your numbers are higher than their numbers, then you can tell them. But regardless, just talk to the realtors and then eventually just make an offer. Like really, it's that simple. You just do that over and over again. There's so many houses in America that you'll literally never run out of houses to call. You'll never run out of realtors to call. That brings us to number 3, is I spent the free time that I had in high school in between classes or whenever I finished my work or anything like that. I spent that free time just building a list of people that I wanted to call after school. So what that meant was I would scroll through Zillow and I'd see whatever houses that I liked, and then I would jot them down. I would write them down either just in my notebook or on a spreadsheet, like a Google sheet or something like that. And then I'd call them later on. So my list building time, so that I didn't waste my calling time, was actually during school. It was during the free time that I had in between classes or whenever I finished my work. So that's the time that you can use to build your list so that you don't spend that time after school. And after school, you can really just spend your time calling that list. And you really have more time than you think to get this done. I mean, if you could finish a project 10 minutes earlier, then you can probably get a couple properties in. You could scour through Zillow and get a couple properties to jot down to call later. So you have the time, it's just hidden in between the gaps between work and classes. The number 4 way that I was able to wholesale real estate in high school, and this is probably the most important to me, was actually joining a community. So if you're wholesaling by yourself, then you get demotivated, you don't know what to do, you don't have anybody to talk to, you don't have any like-minded people in your sector, or your friends maybe don't get it. Something like that makes it beneficial for you to join a community. And now a community doesn't have to be an expensive mentorship, although it could be if it's valuable to you. But what I joined personally was Wholesalers Academy. And you've probably heard in this channel many times that I pump up Wholesalers Academy and Max Dispo and Maximilian Deer, because really he's the one that helps propel my wholesaling career and help me in basically everything that I do. I don't get paid to tell you this at all. I'm just a member of the community. Max is super helpful to me. He helps me in everything that I do. I think that's the best community there is. It's, I think, $25 a month. I got in when it was like $15 a month. So, I mean, hardly any money, right? Like you can mow one lawn and pay for it for a month, you know? I joined that community. I think that was super helpful. You could really join any community. Just a community matters, really, just in general. But I found the most value in Max's community. He shows you how to do basically everything wholesale related, and he guides you through all the steps. And there's a ton of like-minded people in the community that you can talk to. You can talk to me, send me a DM. I'm always free to help. I try to help in whatever way I can. So, I mean, if you're looking for a community, I'll leave it in the description. You can just check it out. If you want to go into the community, you can send me a DM, ask me any questions, anything you want. But that's the most important thing to me, is really just joining a community in general. Sometimes wholesaling real estate is lonely. You're really just sitting at your desk and you're calling all day. And if you don't have people that are like-minded that you can talk to, then it's super easy to quit or just get demotivated and just stop after a while. So I really, really, really want to stress how important a community is for you to join, that you could just talk to people that understand you and understand what you're doing, understanding what you go through, and they can help you along the way, and you can help them, and you guys can grow together. Now, before I get into the last step, I like to say I've got a PDF of this video in the description where you can just look at everything. If you're in class and you can't watch this video, maybe it's restricted on your school computer, you can just look at the PDF and you can know exactly what to do. You can know exactly what I say in this video. It's just in the description. It's free. You can just take a look at it. There's a couple little goodies in there too for whoever decides to download it. It doesn't cost any money. It's just my gift to you for being a supporter of the channel. So if that interests you, if you want to take a look at that, there's some extra goodies in there. It'll be in the description, and thank you for supporting the channel, really. The last step, this is probably just as important as joining a community, is I didn't stop. I mean, I started wholesaling real estate back in February of 2025, and I didn't close my first deal until like July 2nd, 2025. So if you think about it, that's February, March, April, May, June, got a property under contract, and then July, 1st of July. So 5 months it took me to close my first wholesale deal. And for 5 months, I'm calling people every single day. I'm building a list in school, and then after school, I'm calling all these realtors and doing everything that I needed to do in order to get a deal. And why did it take so long? Is because these 5 months were really my foundation. This is what built me until that 6th month where I was able to close that deal. So what a lot of beginner wholesalers miss is all of the roots that they are building when they start wholesaling real estate. Even though you're not getting any contracts signed or closing any deals, you have roots and you have skills that you're developing through wholesaling. And if you quit, then you'll get rid of all of those skills. They'll be useless to you. But if you just keep pushing, you're right at the threshold to where you're just learning and to where you're actually making money. You're always gonna have a stage in your life where you have to learn. It doesn't matter what business it is. Wholesaling isn't an exception. But if you spend that time, however long it takes, it could take you 1 month, it could take you 5 months, it could take you a year. Just spend that time learning the ropes and building your skills. And I promise you, eventually you will get a deal. That deal will transform your life and it will change everything you do. And then eventually you can scale up and you could get many more deals after that. But if you don't have those roots and you just quit too soon, then it was all for nothing, right? In high school, this is really the only time, this is the most time that you'll ever have in your life that you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to pay anything, really. I hope that you still live with your parents. But this is the most amount of free time that you're probably ever gonna have in your life, so utilize it. That's your leverage. If you have someone else that, say they're in a sales job, say they're a better salesman than you are, and they're 25 years old or they're 30 years old compared to you, and you're just in high school and you're learning, you're gonna be able to do so much more work than they are. Even though they're better than you could just get so much more output that your results will come faster than them because they can't work as much as you can. And if you just put so much work into what you're doing, then the results will come by default. The time you get right now is your life's rent. You can never get it back. You just have to keep paying that rent. You'll never get the time that you have right now back. So please utilize this time. Don't waste your time doing meaningless and unfruitful things. So while you have the time right now, use it. It'll benefit you in the future. I know you want to do things right now that maybe it'll satisfy you right now, but think about your future self. Think about how much better you'll be in the future if you start right now and not where everybody else starts in their late 20s or early 30s. You get so much farther if you just start right now. And if there's any juniors watching this or sophomores or freshmen, or I don't even care how old you are. If you started before I did in high school, then you're gonna get way farther than I was or that I am right now because you have more time. I started in my senior year. But if you could utilize as much time as you can, then eventually you'll close a deal and you'll be way further in your path, your trajectory, than someone who is just starting in their 20s or their 30s and they have more experience than you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I was able to bring some value to you. If you don't mind, if you could share this video to someone else who maybe wants to start wholesaling real estate, or maybe they don't know what they're gonna do after high school, but I hope that I could bring value to my 17-year-old self, which hopefully would be you, and hopefully you can be a greater wholesaler than I am. I try to bring as much value as I can, and I try to help out in whatever way I can because I know that it's hard in the beginning, and I know that it's tough, and you struggle, and it sucks, but then eventually it gets better. So if you don't mind, if you could just share it to someone or subscribe to the channel, then that would really help me out. I'd really appreciate it. I'll try to bring as much value to you in the upcoming videos. If you have any ideas in the comments of what you want to see, then you just leave it there and I'll take a look at it and I'll see if I want to make a video about it. But until then, thank you for watching and